Hey, Mike. I hope this podcast script finds you well.
I mean, a little tired today, still getting over some jet lag, but I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you?
I have found great success in podcasting, and I would like to tell you how. This Google document will change your life. But to find your true inner podcasting star, you should share it with 5 other people you know.
This is unexpected, but I will say I'm intrigued. Just let me get my contacts out and I'll get some email addresses together.
I felt so gross writing that.
You're good at it, though.
Thanks.
Have you ever thought about becoming a prince?
A prince?
And so, like, you could be a prince and you could write to people and ask them for millions of dollars, you know?
Oh, I didn't know where you were going with that. Yes, let me make a note here.
Today we are talking about chain letters, which use emotionally manipulative stories to exploit the receiver or suck them into a pyramid scheme, promising good fortune or sometimes actual fortune.
Other times they may include a threat, but all of these things are just a way for the letter to be spread further.
The modes of sharing these kinds of letters have evolved from handwritten letters up through the era of fax machines, and now, of course, emails and social media direct messages.
I like to think about our ancient ancestors, and maybe they came into a cave and there was a chain letter like scratched out on the wall. Like, these are as old as humans are.
Possibly.
Let's talk about the 2 main types of chain letters before we go any further.
The first are hoaxes, which attempt to trick or defraud recipients. Depending on the form of the chain letter, this could direct people to download or delete a file on a computer or server in modern times, allowing hackers into a system, or perhaps tell them to send money or personal information through the mail or electronic mail back to the sender.
The second type are letters that spread urban legends. Their goal is to be spread around to others as much as possible, and usually don't cause individual harm to those on the receiving end.
These ones I don't understand. I've never understood it. Like, I don't know what the point of it is.
I think hoax chain letters are definitely easier to like picture and understand.
Even like the hoax messages that go around on like WhatsApp or whatever, it's just like I just don't understand to who this is benefiting. Maybe my brain isn't big enough anyway. I don't know. In the United States, as is the case in many other countries, sending a chain letter that requests money or other valuables of a promise of substantial return to the participants is illegal.
The legality of chain letters often hinges on whether or not they attempt to funnel money to a single recipient or up the chain, as is usually found in a pyramid scheme. In the latter case, the sender may actually be committing wire fraud, which is, if you remember, that's one of the things they got the Theranos people on.
Yeah, I think there's pretty big penalties for wire fraud, right? I think because it tends to be used as a way to get people for other crimes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like organized crime, right? It's just to be like wire fraud is like...
Wire fraud is the crime you commit while committing your other crimes.
It is just the method of crime. It's just like, that's just where the money goes. The American law named the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, which I guess could be called the CFA, but they probably don't call it that, makes it illegal to distribute computer code or place it in the stream of commerce if the intent is to cause damage or economic loss. Basically, putting a virus on someone's computer to steal their money.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
This episode of Ungeniused is made possible by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for building your brand and growing your business online. With Squarespace, you can stand out with a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything, products, services, even content. With Squarespace's next-generation website design system called Fluid Engine, you can unlock your creativity more easily than ever before. You start with a best-in-class website template and customize every design detail with reimagined drag-and-drop technology for desktop or mobile. You can stretch your imagination online with Fluid Engine. It's built in and ready to go on any new Squarespace site. I just recently built a new Squarespace site for a parent-teacher organization at one of my kids' schools, and using Fluid Engine is really awesome. It's so simple to make something that looks really good. And one of my favorite just little features, because Squarespace is full of these little touches, and you can save a section of a website. So say that you do this layout for the header of your page or something. You can save that and then re-implement it on other pages just really quickly. Fluid Engine is awesome. You also get everything you need to sell products in an online store, either physical or digital products, and your customers get flexible payment options. So it accepts credit cards, of course, but also PayPal and Apple Pay. And you can even offer customers the option to buy now and pay later with services like Afterpay and ClearPay. If it is time to build a website, you need to go to squarespace.com/ungeniused for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the code UNGENIUS to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/ungeniused and the code UNGENIUSed when you decide to sign up to get 10% off your first purchase and to show your support for the show. Our thanks to Squarespace for their support of Ungeniused and Relay FM.
All right, let's get back to the different mediums that can be used to send a chain letter. The oldest of which is a handwritten or printed or typed letter.
Or the cave drawings, I still say.
Or the cave
they're
drawing.
out there somewhere.
Yes, we can add to the Wikipedia later on when we find the cave drawings, yes.
Citation needed.
Indeed. An early example of a letter was the Prosperity Club or Send a Dime letter. This started in Denver, Colorado in 1935, but soon spread to other cities as people would send in dimes for good luck.
Decades later, fax lore would come about, which is a twist on the chain letter made specifically for the 1980s and 90s. Fax lore consists of humorous text, folk poetry, art, urban legends, and more that were circulated by fax machine.
These are memes.
They're memes.
This is memes. These are fax memes.
Fax memes. But over time, the messages would break down because you would get a fax and then you would fax it back out, and the quality of the image would degrade every time you did it.
This is like when people take screenshots of memes, right?
Yeah. And they get fuzzier and fuzzier.
Wow, this is wild. It's still happening because people are weird. Anyway, here in the 21st century, chain letters are most often found in your email inbox rather than in your post mailbox. These electronic messages sometimes include phony promises from companies or wealthy individuals or princes, or they may be politically motivated.
This type of content can also be found across your aunt and uncle's Facebook pages.
No doubt, along with really fuzzy screenshots.
My favorite is when you're on like Marketplace or Craigslist or something and someone's selling a thing and they have the picture of the thing on their phone and then they screenshot the whole phone screen and upload that.
I don't know why people do that. Why do they do that? My brother does this too.
I don't know.
Instead of sending me a link to a tweet, he screenshots the tweet and sends it to me. Just like, I know how to use a web browser, brother. Just, you know what I mean? Because you get like the black bars. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
What is this? Weird.
This type of content is also found in YouTube comments. I think we've all seen these.
Oh, I'd never really thought of it like that, but I guess... yeah, that it's just like another chain thing.
Yeah, they don't really go viral like a good old-fashioned chain letter, but these comments are spammers pretending to be a famous YouTuber trying to give away products or money or influence. All you have to do is send them something first. Hey, I can send you you want $1,000? Send me your banking information and I'll wire it to you. And then they steal all your money.
It's like, well, I'll send you $1,000. You just need to send me $900.
That's right.
Seems like a great deal.
Seems like wire fraud.
A tale as old as time, maybe even as old as cave people, you know? We'll never know.
Hey, Mike, we are winding down our annual fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
This is not a chain message.
It's not a chain message. It's a message from the heart. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And so every September, Relay FM, we pause and talk about St. Jude because they do life-saving work. And with your support, we'll be one step closer to that day because their mission is that no child dies from cancer. How they go about this is multifaceted. We don't have time to talk about all of it, but I want to talk about one thing today, and that is a very special part of St. Jude that is their own school. It spans from preschool through 12th grade for patients who will be at St. Jude for upwards of 6 weeks. So think about this. You're a parent, your child is diagnosed with cancer. You have obviously 1,000 things to worry about. But one of them is their education. You want them to continue learning. And the staff at the St. Jude Imagine Academy by Chili's includes teachers trained in English language learner instruction, visual impairment instruction, services, a librarian, STEM coordinator. They're even reading dogs who visit to read with the kids. The academy helps patients keep up with schoolwork back home while they're undergoing treatment, but also give patients what they need at that moment. If a patient isn't feeling great after a day of treatment or doesn't want to do a traditional math lesson that day, the teachers will adjust their lesson plans and find a way to teach them in a different way. And they have kindergarten and high school graduation ceremonies. Our son did the kindergarten graduation, and it was like the most adorable thing I've ever seen. You can Google St. Jude graduation for videos of this year's graduating class. It's super cool. So join us. You want to go to stjude.org/relay to donate. We are in the closing days of this, so be sure to get your donation in. And if you work for a company that does matching gifts, you can set that up on the website as well. That's stjude.org/relay. In the meantime, I'd like to thank TJ for sending in the topic for this week's episode. If you want to be like TJ, find the submit feedback button in the show notes, or you can find it on the web at relay.fm/ungenius/196. Until next time you mail me a dime, Mike, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.